What's up, you entrepreneurs out there, driven entrepreneurs trying to make it all happen? I would say two of the most important characteristics for being a successful entrepreneur are number one, decision making, the ability to make decisions without having all the data that we need. And then number two, persistence, overcoming adversity, overcoming those things that are going to inevitably come our way every single day and just getting around them, under them, over them, through them any way we know how. Some people call that the figure it out factor, just being able to figure things out, limited resources with limited information. So my friend Jon has a story today that I wanted to get him on the podcast to share because I think it's pretty outstanding and he didn't really make a big deal out of it. When I heard it, I was like, wait, you did what? That's insane. So we're going to dive into that today. So what's up, my man? Good to catch up. How you doing?
Yeah, what's up, brother? It's good. Well, I'm not in a car, so we're doing good. I'm not in a car or an airport.
That would be pretty cool if you were in a car and you had that sort of background. That would be like AI Jon.
I did a podcast in an airport that I'm going to end up releasing one day. But
nice.
Yeah, more of them. We need more of them.
Okay, fantastic. So what does adversity mean to you?
I think for me, adversity is just inherently part of the process that we experience as entrepreneurs. Honestly, it's become like kind of a good friend because and you can probably relate to it more than anyone. But like, I think adversity molds you. I think it gives you a thicker skin and it allows you to make decisions. And it is the one that separates the leaders and those that are in a certain point to get to where they want to be. So I think adversity is that bridge. Like you need adversity in order to be able to withstand things that just don't go your way. And life is by far the most unpredictable thing that we experience. So, I think adversity is what molds you and what gets you. I think adversity is that bridge that gets you to where you want to be.
Oh, I like that. So tell us a story, Jon, about how you overcame some adversity, which I think is something that most people would have said, we'll have to reschedule this. We can't do it. But you were like, nope, we're going to figure it out. We're going to do it anyway. And we're going to hold true to the commitments that we have. And you're a part of the Contractor Dynamics team, among other teams. You have a lot going on. But one of our core values here is that we are impeccable with our word, which one of the definitions of that, according to us, is we do what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it. And we communicate about that. So yeah, tell us a story about your recent adversity.
So speaking of core values, I actually have resilience tattooed on my chest that you can't see here, but that's one of our core values.
Take it off.
For that. Yeah, right. Yeah, we don't want to get flagged, but we'll get views.
Yeah, there we go.
So my own personal core values, one of them is resilience. We've been building production infrastructure into companies for content creation. Some of that a lot of that has included building studios for contractors to be able to be their own creators, to become a blue collar creator. One of our clients, Jeremy, is all the way in New Jersey, and I was coming. Yeah, Jeremy, my guy. So we had a studio planned, and I had a new team member that I was actually just meeting and working with for the first time. I was going to bring him in. I was going to train him. Some of the logistics of like what goes into building a studio, because it's by far not turning on a camera. There's a whole infrastructure that when you put this in place, you have to rely that when you leave, somebody can operate it without you. I was going to take him through that whole training, and that is when CrowdStrike, I was coming from Salt Lake City, and that was when the CrowdStrike thing happened with Microsoft that took down it basically disabled all the airlines. They were having experiences with like delays. I'd be able to get to New Jersey, but I didn't know what that would look like. And so first delay happens. I'm in the airport. I'm like, okay, we'll just reschedule this, to like a later time. I actually found out that they kicked me off my own flight to resell my ticket for $2,000 online. So like they removed me from the flight just to resell my ticket. I'm like, okay, we rescheduled it. And then it got to a point to where like people weren't answering the phones. Like this was like a national and international error that happened that put thousands, tens of thousands of people disabled in an airport. And I was one of them. And so I'm freaking out because time is ticking. We have to get this studio built because we have 2 back-to-back studios. We were going to go from New Jersey to Pittsburgh. And like, there was no room for error. Like, that's how we did it. We flip a studio within like 2 days and there was no time for error. So first delay happens. I stand in line for about 5 hours for the help desk and I'm stuck in this airport and time just keeps adding up and adding up and adding up. They have no idea where the flight attendants are because they lost them in the system.
Yeah.
They have no idea how to account for where people are. You know, I had a friend that had like a diamond, like a diamond membership. And so he's like putting me on the phone with Diamond. We rescheduled this thing 7 times and I stayed in the airport for about 24 hours total.
Wow.
From the time of start to the time of end. And I came to a point in time to where they had told me that they were going to take off and they didn't so many times that by the time it got to, I think it was like 2 a.m. The last flight finally canceled on us. And I had to make a decision of what I was going to do. Am I going to wait on Delta to figure things out and then get on a flight, or try to figure out how to get to the East Coast, maybe through DC and then drive up or whatever it was. But I came to a point in time that I was like, you know what, screw this. I'm really tired of not having control and I'm tired of relying on somebody else's word. I'm going to take a 32-hour drive across the country to get to this studio and I'm going to coach David over the phone and I'm going to trust my team member to put this together because we've done so much pre-preparation. He has the 3D modeling. He has all the line items. He has the inventory. He knows how to do it step by step. I get in a car and I start driving. And nothing is more paralyzing than realizing that you're in the direction that you need to go and you can't get there faster. And so, I'm hitting 100 on the highway, just in the Salt Lake City, roads. But I coached him from a distance and I had to take the control out of my hands because I didn't have it. It was an uncontrollable. And the only thing that I could do was to drive. And that's what I did. I drove across the country and I made it there after 32 hours, 4 a.m. the next morning. And we hit it the next day. We hit it.
Wow. There's so many things in there. First of all, logistically, you're hanging out at the airport for 24 hours. You've got to be tired. Obviously, you're not sleeping much, if at all. And then you get in a car and you drive 32. How are you staying awake? I would have been worried about safety.
Between that 24-hour time and then starting the drive, I took like a 5-hour nap at a hotel.
Okay.
And so I hit the hotel for a quick power nap and then I just hit the rental. I hit Enterprise and just started ripping.
Wow.
And there was only one other stop along the way where I got too tired to drive. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to pull over, go to sleep. Hit it the next day. I actually bought a pillow from one of the hotels. I was like, listen, I'll give you $20 if you just give me this thing. And so I took the pillow and I continued on, and I fell asleep in the car for a couple hours and pushed through.
That's incredible. And so you got there. Was it Eddie, your teammate? Ed?
David. Yeah.
David. I don't know why I said Eddie. Okay, cool.
My
bad, David. And then so that he already started.
Yeah, he started everything. I gave him the step-by-step. I was like, hey, you're going to start with the base layers. Then you're going to move into putting on some of the siding with it. And then you're going to kind of structure out everything and how it's going to get sunk to the walls. And then dialing in the cameras. There was a point in time where he was like, dude, I don't know why I'm not getting the audio. And I was like, listen, I got it. This is it. And we just worked through problems.
Yeah.
I just stayed on the phone with him and I just worked through problems as he was trial shooting things.
Right.
And we even did the reveal before I got there. So Jeremy was able to see it. He loved it. He was absolutely shocked at the product that we made. Took it from render to reality.
Yeah. Was Jeremy shocked when you showed up at his office in Jersey?
Dude, Jeremy was floored because I was only there for 4 hours. I came in, did the training, did the SOP, took the photos, made sure we got all our content lists. And I was like, all right, David, on to Pittsburgh. And
wow.
and we just hit it. I wish we would have stayed one more day just kind of like, because I always like to have like client dinners afterwards and just like, just get to know them, see where they're at, and then just like have like a good time and just, build that relationship.
Yeah, Jeremy's a great guy. Well, actually, the next day he was coming down to my house for our barbecue. That would have been cool if it worked out, but I guess you guys, I don't know when that was, but...
Dude, I was going to sneak over to the barbecue. I was actually going to surprise you with David and like put a camera in your face.
That would have been epic, man.
Yeah, but I physically couldn't.
Well, because that makes sense. Because when I heard that you were coming to Jeremy's, I'm like, why wouldn't he tell me? That's my state. Like, you don't come to Jersey and not tell me about it.
Yeah,
like,
check in,
man. Gotta check in, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's amazing. So yeah, I know you have to go. Just real quick, like, what's the takeaway that you have from that? Like, what's a lesson? Is it like you can delegate more than you think you could, or is it bigger than that, or like give us some nuggets there.
Here's what I've ultimately learned. If you're watching this can apply to you within your own journey. It's that sometimes in life you are stuck at the terminal of a multitude of different decisions. Within the direction of however you're going to grow and develop your business, there's a point in time to where you reach a threshold and you're stuck in the terminal and you're constantly getting delayed. You're hitting walls. You're not able to get to your destination and it's frustrating. And there comes a point in time that you need to actually decide, because you know what it takes to get to where you need to be. You need to actually decide that, hey, I'm going to take this 32-hour drive, and you need to decide what that 32-hour drive looks like. Some of you, it's creating content. Some of you, it's firing that person. Some of you, it's hiring that person. Some of you, it's creating a family work-life balance. You need to decide what your 32 hours is, because you're going to reach a point in time to where you're stuck in your terminal and you're going to be hitting all these walls and these delays. You're going to ultimately be better when you go to take that drive versus just waiting on somebody to just hand you the next thing. You need to go and you need to take control of what you want and how you want it.
Man, that is good. That is juicy. I love that, man. I'm experiencing something like that right now in our business, and I'll save that for another episode. But one of the things I wanted to add is I read this document every morning called My Dynamic Legacy. It just has some core values in there, some affirmations, some goals, things like that. One of the affirmations that I read every morning is I will never give anyone my power. And, that's kind of what you're talking about, right? You don't want to be powerless. You already said that. So that's such a great lesson, man. I appreciate you sharing.
Yeah. I'm going to take it with me to my grave. And I don't know, there's so many other lessons that you learn within that. And some of your 32 hours might be delegating for the first time ever. My 32 hours was I had to rely on a team member that I was working with for the first time, and the fact that I could coach from a distance.
Yeah.
So that when opportunities that we have in the pipeline come up, I'm not going to be the bottleneck.
You don't have to be there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's your 32 hours. You got to decide what your 32 hours is. And the devil prays for idle hands. So get to it.
I smell a book title, 32 hours.
Yeah. Honestly, that's going to be my memoirs. Like the 32 hours.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing with us. So I know you have to go, Jon. I just want to give you a plug. Jon is a member of our Contractor Dynamics team, has been for many years as a video trainer. He's built a video course for us. He helps our clients really get unstuck when it comes to all things video and a lot of things content. He does a monthly high-level video training call for our clients every month. Super impactful stuff. So I'm extremely grateful for Jon. Beyond that, he's got a lot of amazing things going on. As you heard, he's building podcast studios. So if you're a contracting company, you're an entrepreneur, you're anyone that is on a mission to get your word out there and you want some help on that journey, whether it's building out a podcast studio or just some consulting, Jon knows his stuff. He's the guy that I call when I have issues, and I often have issues with all this technology and all that. So give Jon a shout. Where can they find you, Jon? Where can they connect to you?
Manager Jon on Instagram, TikTok, Jon Cater or Jonathan Cater on Facebook. So it's my, what do they call it? Your legal name or your jail name or something
official
like that.
Name. Yeah. Yeah. Your street name is Manager Jon.
Yeah.
So I think if you Google that, you'll find Manager Jon. So
yeah.
Cool, man. I appreciate you taking the time. I think this will be some fun content to get out there. Yeah, man. Let's talk to you soon.
Let's rock. We got 32 hours to rock on.
Let's go. What's your 32?